Hey everybody, thanks for pressing play. In this video, I want to show you this car here. This is a Hyundai i30, but it's what's called an i30 and it's what's called an NLine specification. This car is a 1 litre turbo, but it's got lots and lots of different features that make it unique. So in this video, we're going to have a look at the features on the outside of the car and the inside of the car, and we're going to go for a drive in this car as well. And before we get started, I think it's important probably just to show you what is different about this car compared to the normal i30. So we'll have a quick comparison at the start. Brian's my name. If there's any information you want on this car, give me a shout. Call, text, WhatsApp, whatever suits. 086 843 1945. If you want information on the car, or if you want information on trading in, or if you want information about warranties, or if you want information about scrapping a car, or the finance rates that we have, all that kind of stuff, give me a shout and I'll be happy to run through it with you. And to help you be more confident to choose us, we are Fitzpatrick's Garage, a family-run business in operation for 70 years. So getting stuck into the differences between them, well, when the car was launched, I genuinely thought this was just another version of the i30 with, nicer wheels or something like that. But actually, when you start to look at it, there's some massive differences. Essentially, at the start, they're pretty much the exact same car at the front. However, when you start to look at the small details, so the first thing is, okay, the normal i30 on the left hand side has this chrome style grille, whereas it's a matte black dark finish on the NLine. But if you look at the bottom of the bumper, okay, if we look at the normal i30, when you get in close to it here, there is a black splitter along the bottom, whereas it's a black splitter dead in the center, so it breaks up the bottom section of the bumper, whereas this one has a continuous color coded bumper all the way across. But in closer, you see these little corners, so this one, it curves around. But on the other side, on the NLine, curves around as well, but you have this insert in black along here to make it more square and angular looking. And down along the bottom, there's another black splitter, just makes it look way more aggressive than a normal car. The NLine's also got the nice badge on the front, but when you add up all those small details, the NLine is a much more aggressive looking vehicle at the front. The normal i30, 205, 55, 16-inch wheel, with Michelin tyres actually, but if you look at the 17-inch wheels that are on the NLine, much more aggressive, and actually they have Michelin Pilot Sport tyres, which are normally found in performance cars, so that's going to definitely increase grip, and that's going to increase driving pleasure and sportiness that you're going to get when you drive the car. Mirror caps are black like the normal i30, but you get a nice NLine badge in the wing. The rear spoilers actually on both models are black as well, but the antenna on the NLine is black as well, again just creating contrast against the natural colour of the car. Round to the rear of the car, you can see the NLine is way more aggressive. So along here we have the chrome strip with the impressionable sort of fake looking exhaust on the normal one, whereas it's a really deep black diffuser along the back with the twin exit exhaust. Looks really cool and sporty. This one is a little bit more reserved than the normal one, but it is much more aggressive when you start to look at how it's shaped on the NLine, and again that just adds to the character of the car overall. And while the pseudo exhausts are neat on the back of the normal one, this little exhaust tip on the NLine just makes it way more sporty. So it is definitely a different looking car on the outside. On the inside, the seats are nice and supportive on the normal one, but you can see these NLine seats are genuinely very like the i30N, much more buckety. The normal one has leather gear knob and leather steering wheel, but as you can see then the NLine steering wheel is much more sporty, as is the gear knob as well. So like I was saying at the start, I thought this was just a car that's dressed up, but this is actually genuinely a different car, and it feels different because of the differences we talked about. So getting into the car then, we've got a height adjustable seat in through here, and then after that there's lumbar support down in here for your lower back. The seats, they are definitely different. There's nice stitching in them, but they are way more supportive and buckety style compared to the normal seat. Totally different car to drive with these seats, and it's also extendable, and you only normally find that in really sporty cars. The first time I sat into the car with those seats, it feels like a totally different car, especially when you put your hands on that gear knob and steering wheel. It feels completely different, way more sporty. So adjustable steering wheel, up and down and in and out, so that matches the adjustable of the seat so you can get a good driving position. There's nice N badging on the bottom of the steering wheel, which I think looks really neat as well and just adds to the character of the car overall. And I love that gear stick. It's lovely to use in the first place, but that nice shifter knob on top really actually makes, again, they're all small things, but the car feels way more sporty than the normal version. Driving the car in a relaxed mode, well, do you know what? I really like this new SmartStream engine. It encourages you to drive the car on and it makes a lovely sound. In terms of how they actually sit on a back road, NLine or not NLine, I think the i30 sits really nicely on a back road. The chassis is really, really predictable and it gives you driving confidence when you're driving the car. But that engine, like we're saying to you, it is the newer version of the 1 litre turbo engine, and it is damn nice. Especially it makes some lovely sounds up high in the RPMs. So along the back of the car, like we're saying, it's got that nice exhaust. I think that actually makes a difference to how the car looks in the rear, and there's a nice rasp off it. The engine in this car, like we were saying, 1 litre turbo, and it's got 120 horsepower, and realistic fuel efficiency is probably around 45 miles miles per gallon. And there's a nice rasp off that sports silencer on the back. Not loud or anything like that when you're in the car, but just when you're outside, nice little rasp. And again, that's another factor that makes this car feel sporty. In terms of acceleration, from 0 up as far as 100 kilometers an hour, remember this is a 1 litre engine, but 120 horsepower. And you know what? It doesn't feel like you're killing the car when you drive it on. I know you're only going to do this sometimes, but it actually does feel enjoyable to drive the car on like that, especially with the gear knob and steering wheel we talked about. So the safety features on the car, it's going to have our lane keep assist, which basically tries to keep you between the lines on the road, and it'll also warn you if you drift out of those lines. And like I said, I really love the seats. They're really cool on the back road because they keep you planted, but they provide really good support even when you're cruising on a nice smooth road like this as well. NLines will have a big reverse camera with dynamic guidelines as well, and then as you get close to an object, it's also going to have parking sensors, which are an audible warning if you're getting too close to something also. There's something about this car, for me, the i30N, which is the 2 litre turbo, everyone would love, well not everyone, lots of people would like one, me included, but unfortunately it's just probably a car that I may never be able to afford to run properly. So this is giving you some of the nice features that are in that car, but at a normal running cost setup. On the steering wheel then, we can control the trip meter, so that's going to give us things like average speed, fuel efficiency, how much fuel is left in the car, gives information about next servicing due, and lane keep information, and any of the settings that we want to manipulate as well. They're all controlled in through there as well. The big floating dash then, it just means you can keep your eyes facing the road and not get totally distracted away. It's pretty straightforward to use. What I like about this system is it's got lots of stuff, but it's not difficult. It's quite intuitive. The touching and swiping and dragging feels like a mobile phone, and that's kind of what you want, because I suppose most people have geared themselves towards using technology that way. And that screen is going to provide audio through Bluetooth and also streaming and USB also as well. Down in through this bottom here then, heating controls, they're dead simple and straightforward. I cannot emphasize enough how good that is. Warm or cold is very straightforward. Speed of the fan is straightforward. Where do I want the air to blow? Not complicated, really straightforward. I love it. And one thing before we move on, I totally forgot to mention these really cool LED taillights, because they're not on the normal one. This is the i30N, like we were saying. For me, this is a car for somebody that wants the seating and the steering and the gear knob and the looks of an i30N, but they can't justify actually having a 2 litre turbocharged car in terms of fuel and running costs. I totally understand this car, because do you know what? Lots of people would like to have a hot hatch, but they can't justify it because there's so many other expensive things in life, and you need practicality too. So you need things like a good boot, things like spare wheel, and even getting into the back of the car, 3 head restraints, things like ISOFIX, impact protection all the way around the car, so all the safety features that you'd expect in a modern car, but all the conveniences as well when you're going to work every morning, and things like wireless charging and the stuff we talked about already. So I totally understand this car now, giving you the aggressive look, but then you can still run it just like a normal car. And this car is going to have warranty for 5 years in roadside assist for the same period of time as well. And for anyone that's into cars, they're definitely going to look at this car twice, because it's not like a normal i30. So if there's any information you want on this car, please do give us a call, text, WhatsApp 086 843 1945. Brian is my name. If you want information about trading, if you want information about finance, scrapping and car warranties, or whatever you'd like to know about this car. And if you're watching on YouTube, please do like and subscribe, or let me know in the comment section below, more to the point, if there's anything I've missed on the car that you'd like to know about. So anyway, hopefully the video has been useful, and hopefully the car is of interest, and thanks for taking time to watch.